professionally engage with our community. Why should we capture it in Collaboratory? Should we capture it in Collaboratory? The answer is maybe, right? So if it's something that your campus cares about and wants to add into your data story, I would heavily encourage you to capture professional engagement in Collaboratory, as our panelists would too, I believe. But that doesn't mean to say that it's absolutely required. For campuses that are going down the route or the road of thinking about capturing professional engagement, they often get hit with the question from your School of Business deans or the folks that oversee your social work practicums, like, why do I need to put my data into Collaboratory? We track it in this very niche software specifically for social work placements, or we put it in these spreadsheets. Why does it need to be roped into the Collaboratory data set? And this is a distilled way of how I and colleagues would answer this question, right? Why capture it? Because professional engagement is a larger part of your campus's story, right? It is one section or one strategy of how your campus engages with community. It's not the only way, and it's not the only way that your campus engages, but it is a very significant part of that. So when leaders or faculty or even students are out in community and say, oh, well, I'm engaging with this K-12 school. What else do you do with our K-12 school here? Teacher placement, probably a big part of that, right? So being able to pull that into your larger story just to illustrate, where your students, faculty, and staff are is a big, important reason. I'll just briefly go down the list, right? Also being able to integrate and leverage that work with others on your campus. So that kind of goes hand in hand with networking. So being able to say, oh, who's also working with the similar partners, right? You always want to make sure that who is doing what, where with your community partners. And because professional engagement is such a big component of that, I think it's really advantageous to capture with your larger Collaboratory data set. And then further, one more poking through. Further, just being able to rope that in to quantify, specifically how big of a footprint your folks are having in community when it comes to professional engagement. And then how that work often intersects with, the other strategies or other initiatives of your campus. So again, it's not the only thing, but it is usually a large chunk of it, specifically if you're a more professional school. This does come often when having these conversations with the folks that oversee your professional engagement. Often the need to code switch or be able to, bounce back and forth between different types of languages or the way that they might define engagement. They probably don't put it under the header of community engagement, but see it more distinctly through their discipline. So being able to have these conversations listing, reasons why it's important to bring into the larger story of your engagement, but also knowing that you'll likely have to kind of switch and bounce back between terms.